You have to try and real people. Hello, beloved people. Welcome back to my channel. Uma here. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, it's always a delight to have you back to this channel. My name is Uma. I film about faith, my faith journey, family, marriage, and lifestyle from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. So before we jump right into today's video, I want to say a very big thank you to my wonderful subscribers, returning subscribers as always on this channel. Thank you for always staying tuned to this channel, for the likes, for the shares, for the support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now, without much ado, let's jump right into today's video. We have our special guest here. He was here, if you are a current viewer on this channel, some time ago, and he's here again. So a number of us asked me to bring him back to this channel, and here we are today. So today we'll be talking about the impact of a father in the development of a child, and our very special guest, my darling husband. I would like him to introduce himself for those of us who haven't seen his face before. So let's get right into it.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the part of the world where you are watching this right now. My name is Tony. I am the husband and friend and companion of your host, uwauma.teesp. I'm happy to be here again at your kind request. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. We are so glad to have you here. So now, series of research have shown that the role of a father is absolutely important in the child's life, particularly in development from the childhood to the adolescent, stage. So I would like you to throw more light on that. What's your thought about it?
Well, it goes without saying that the role of a father in a child's life is absolutely important. When God set up the home and put a father and a mother there was a reason for that. There's a balance that a father being present in the life of a child brings to the upbringing and therefore the development of the child. So we cannot overemphasize the fact that the role of a father and the active presence of the father can affect the development of a child.
Yes, series of research have shown that the role of a father in a child's life is absolutely important, particularly from the childhood stage to the adult stage. What do you have to say about that?
I would completely agree with the fact that a father's role cannot be overemphasized in the life and by extension the development of a child. There is a role for a father to play in the life of a child. There's also the role for the mother to play. So a situation where a mother is playing the role of a mother and probably cannot also play the role of a father, then the development of that child suffers. And the evidence abound. Usually, fathers are those who make rules and lay down the rules and enforce them. That enforcement is your natural role because sometimes the mother, if I put it that way, will not enforce the rules. Most times, children in their infant stage see their mothers almost as the food bank and the play bank. And the food bank is a natural role, but added to it is the play bank because the child spends more time with the mother. For that same reason, we have the coinage, mother tongue. The first words or language that the child will learn will be from the mother. But as the child grows and also finds that there's another person who is close to his or her mother, and that person is the person who usually brings caution. Even if that person plays with the child, he knows that The roar of the lion is different from the roar of the lioness. So the rules, laying down rules and enforcing them is the role of a father. When that is lacking, the mothers generally struggle. And the likelihood is that you have a child that is out of control, unruly, that has a tendency to challenge authority, that has a tendency to run into vices, that has the tendency to always settle for less. But when you have a father who knows his role, lays down the rules, leads by example, then the children know that for every action there's a consequence. My mom would say it like this: "Don't worry, when your father comes back, we'll lay down your matter." And you know that you rather we settle this matter now than when your father comes back. And my father might come back and will not talk about it. He's not talking about it, it's even worse. Because you know that for the consequence of your action, there's a rather you know that there's a consequence for your action if that action goes against the rules that are laid down. So I would completely agree that a father's role in the life of a child when it's absent, especially in laying down rules and enforcing them, can be catastrophic.
Okay, talking about the lion and the lioness now. I know quite a number of parents out there will agree with me, particularly mothers, that
Mother's phone, they are comfortable to hold their father's phone or their
their
mother's phone.
mothers phone they are comfortable, they will not, they're
Well,
excited, but when it comes to the father's phone, they know they can't go there. That is a no-go area for them.
yes, we are talking about modern children, obviously, because when we were younger, we didn't have phones to snatch from anybody. But in today's world, where mobile telephony has, virtually pervaded at least our own society here in this part of the world, it's commonplace to see children, fighting, struggling, or claiming ownership or possession of their mother's phones. But this, for that very same reason, like I said, the roar of the lion is, I mean, you don't need to watch Najo Wild. Sorry for the free advert, but you would see that it's completely different. There's there's a dangerous aspect of the maternal instinct when a female or the lioness is protecting her cubs. There's a dangerous part of it, but it can't be compared to the lion fighting for territory, fighting to protect the whole pride. So the lion can always play with the cubs, but when there's that different tone in the roar, you can see that all the cubs will scurry and hide somewhere. That's the way it is. It is nature that yes, even the very soft fathers, because it's not a general, it's not something that happens and that is absolute. But even with the very gentle fathers, there are times when the tone changes. Drop that phone. You know that daddy's not playing. If you go beyond that point, it will have consequences. A child needs to know that there are always boundaries. There are spaces you can't defy. There are rules in human society that guide the way we conduct ourselves. And that's the role of a father. The mother would play with the child, and even when she's serious, drop my phone. The child is listening, is hearing but not listening. Sorry. The child feels that that's another playmate. Mommy will not do anything. But when daddy's tone steps in and he knows that daddy would press home this point, definitely you will not go near daddy's phones. It might not be for every daddy. For some of us, we can buy a separate phone for peace sake and say, use this phone for this purpose. But most times, you have to draw the line. You need to tell the child, you can't touch this phone at this time. And that's your role as a father, to lay down the rules and to enforce them. Because a law that does not have the bite of enforcement is useless.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So, narratively speaking, quite a number of persons out there, including researchers, they have attest to the fact that a child that has an active father in his life or in her life, they are not part of those children that fall into the gap of having low esteem, and getting into drugs and being sexually abused. What do you have to say about that? A child with an active father in his or her life.
Yes. I would like to agree with them. It might not be an absolute rule. Usually, when in some other fora I've talked about or been in this discussion regarding single motherhood, something that is very pervasive in the Western world. I've heard some people being very quick to point to Barack Obama, former president of the United States. His father, obviously, everybody knows his father was a Kenyan student who eventually went back to his family in Kenya. But I tell you again, it does not remove the role of a father. If you look into the life of this character, Barack Obama, his maternal grandfather had to step into the role of a father when his own biological father was not there. So you would need that presence because the role of a father, sadly, might not be played by the biological father. The role of a father can be played by other father figures, namely grandfather, uncles, stepfathers, sometimes older brothers, much older brothers. They can all play this father figure role. Some teachers play father figure roles. Some religious leaders play father figures roles. Reason being that the child needs that aspect of development where he is accountable for his actions. He needs to be taught that in human society, for us to live above animalistic tendencies, there is need for order. And for order to thrive in our society, there is need for authority. And for authority to be there, there's need for laws, for rules to guide how we behave. So when this is not there, then the child sees everything as um, a free for all. The child behaves as though there's nothing to guide him or her. So the guidance is no longer there. The accountability is not there. So it is easy to be deceived. It's easy to have low and poor self esteem because there's nobody to be accountable to for, and there's nobody to look up to. So it's not far fetched when you see such children becoming drug addicts. As somebody who does pastoral work over teenagers, in fact, today I had to speak to two teenagers. One was a 19-year-old young man, and he was already running away from home. And when I asked him, "Who do you live with?" "My mom." Nothing was said about father. He was already into drugs. So I had to counsel him and then pray with him and then schedule when we will get to talk about his academics, about his spiritual life, and about his getting off drugs, about if he wants to earn money, how to correctly earn money. We just have to play that fatherly role. I had to give him scriptures for which he will be accountable to me whenever I see him. I had to show him how it is done. Take this other scenario. There's another young lady. She's about 16. While service was going on, she was engaged. She was not the ringleader of those who were discussing outside the main service, but she was part of it. And so after service, I happened to chance upon her and her parents, and I told her point blank, "I'm going to report you to your dad. Let's go to your dad." She turned her face around. She evidently didn't want to go meet her dad. But I walked up to her dad. I said, I have a report concerning your daughter. And immediately he applied the rules. He said, come here. And she had to oblige that command. I laid down my report. I said she has a chance to defend herself, as she was already saying she was going to. But the father asked her, you think this uncle will come and tell a lie against you? That is somebody who has a father. And she then had to begin to explain in her defense what actually happened. She has somebody that she's accountable to. The young man doesn't have. The young lady's mother was there. She added her voice, but the main voice was her father's voice. Like we say, you answer your father's name. So he was the main one tasking her on what she did and why she did so. So the role of a father cannot be overemphasized if a child is going to get it straight. And the role of the father is not just to correct, it's also to pray over your children, to be a priest over them, to encourage them, to speak in positive things into their lives, to agree with them over and on how to deal with challenges. Show them how things can be done to overcome their fears, to overcome their laziness, to overcome their weakness. Show them it can be done. You are the priest over your house. You are the one that prays. You want to wake up before them and pray over them. Enter the day before them. Speak into their future. Speak concerning their future spouses, their future friends. Ask the Lord to choose their friends for them. Set the pattern for your children. If not, you will lose them. They will go the way of those who don't have fathers. So I certainly agree with that research.
Okay, that being said, I want you to just throw some light on the father-son relationship and also the daughter and father relationship in terms of, child development from the childhood and adolescence to adolescence. Yeah.
Okay, the dynamics. There's the dynamics of parents-child relationship. I think the psychologists say there's one called the Oedipus complex, and the other one is the Electra complex. In the Oedipus complex, the boy child is more attached and attracted to the mother. In the Electra complex, the girl child is attracted or more attached to the father. So you have mommy's boy and you have daddy's girl. But as a father, those two are your children. So the dynamics might not be exactly the same. There's certain basic rules that you have to lay down in running your home and making it clear for your children to know that these rules applies to everyone. However, depending on the temperament of your girl child or your boy child, you have a different way of approaching things. There are some children that are by temperament uh, introverts. There are others that are extroverts. So you need to know how to approach each child and how to draw them out and how to draw on their strengths and how to help them out with their weaknesses. For the boy child, you need to teach him how to respect his mother, his sisters, to protect them, teach him the principles of hard work, endurance, focus, and discipline because he will need this as he grows up into manhood. For your daughter, as a father, you are the first man in her life. So you need to give her a lot of assurance. You need to tell her how much you love her, how much you are there for her, how much you're ready to provide for her, and how much you expect of her. Let her know the daughter of whom she is, that you're always As much as it lies in your power, be there for her. Take her out. Be the first person to take her out on a date. Be the first person to tell her, I love you. You're beautiful. You're outstanding. You're the best. Play that role in her life. Don't allow somebody come sweep her off with I love you. Yeah, beautiful. No. Let her know that she's here. Let her hear not enough of that before she grows up and steps out of the home. So as a father in your girl child's life, be her protector. Be the person she can talk to. Give her the opportunity to express herself to you. Don't shut her down always. There's a time for disciplining, but there's a time to draw her close, assure her, and give her that self-confidence that she needs.
Thank you so much. So, fathers, you've all heard my darling husband, it is absolutely important to be active in the life of your children, particularly when they're growing up. That is the best time for you to be able to impact all you need to impact into their life and lead them in the path that they will go, which is absolutely important. And if you are a father and you're a godly parent, then it is the best thing that you have ever done for yourself. And that way you're leading your children to know the Lord at an early age. So thank you, beloved people, for watching. I hope you have gleaned enough wisdom from this video. Please don't forget to like. Please share this video with every father you know, everyone that needs to watch this video. Share, share, share. Don't keep this video for yourself. And
Exactly.
subscribe to this channel if you're new here. You're welcome to this family. Till we come your way in the next video, please stay safe and stay blessed. Ciao.
Bye. For longest video today.
Hey, this is the longest video. Wow. So much wisdom to glean from this video. Yeah.